They showed me like these light stands and these lights that they gotta have. I'm like, geez, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're back. I was actually speaking to someone the other day. They was like, oh yeah, what kind of people do you speak to? 'Cause I don't just speak to fighters. I spoke to an actor the other day.
Nice.
I spoke to this girl that I work with who works in TV as well. But I was telling people how I'm trying to do more interviews, and I was like, yeah, I just went to this guy's gym a few months ago, and just like go into the gym and you just see all these fighters. So yeah, all right. Beat Mighty Mouse. Still can't believe it.
Really? I would never have known.
I don't go on about everyone else says it, not me.
Yeah, sure.
I just
You should put that. To be honest, you should put that in your bio, like beat Mighty Mouse.
a t-shirt called a picture of me saying the Goat Slayer.
Yeah, I would.
A picture of just like
Yeah, WEC legend. That's what I'd get on there.
I mean, if I'd be my mouse, I'd go on about it forever. So
No, 100%. How are you since we last spoke?
good. What month was it? When did you?
Believe, actually, it was January. January.
Okay, so yeah, so that was a month after my last fight.
No, 2 months because you fought in November.
December.
No, you sure?
Yeah, it's
Oh
December.
yeah, you're right. My
21st.
bad.
I think originally the card was supposed to be November the 23rd, I believe, and then
Oh, really? I didn't
in
even know
Crystal
that.
Palace, and then I think they swapped it for the
Crystal
Indigo.
Palace. That would have been better for me. It's right near my house.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know they do a lot of. What venue was it? Crystal Palace Arena.
National Sports Centre.
Yeah,
so
'cause-
opposite the bigger one in track.
Yeah, because I used to do my sports days there when I was a kid.
So did I. We went. So we had a federation once.
Did you go to Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. What Harris did you go to?
Battersea.
Oh,
Where'd
I
you
went Harris South Nord.
Where's that?
Literally around the corner from here. So do you know, literally 10 minutes from the Crystal Palace Arena. So do you know Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Oh.
2-minute walk from there.
Oh, I mean that would have been handy then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
but I think they switched out last second to go to the Indigo. I'm guessing they must have done pretty well.
yeah, I mean, I'm
obviously,
surprised. I'm not surprised, but the amount of tickets that were sold was crazy. But yeah, since your last fight, you said you had like an injury. Did you have surgery?
Yes, I did.
How's it
Right
feeling?
there. Not too bad. It's actually a lot stronger now than what it was. It's getting better week by week.
Did they open you up?
Yeah, bad. So
my
I got
God.
told it was going to be keyhole surgery.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like keyhole to me. It looks quite.
What was the injury though? Again.
So I had the bone spur.
Right.
A bone literally growing on the outside of my bone. So this is like my knee sore. I had a bone literally just growing outwards, like piercing through my muscle, and it was just absolute hell. I mean, walking around and everything, it's all right. If I take a whack on it, a kick, anything, an elbow, even if you just sit on it, they told me they think the pain's coming from where the bone is stabbing up into the muscle. And then I had a bunch of torn cartilage and tissue on top as well. So I think they've opened it up, had a look, and then decided, okay, we need to open this up more.
Yeah.
And I reckon because that's not keyhole surgery to me.
Yeah.
It looks
But
quite big.
that's the thing with MMA. Like that injuries is just like it's very rare that you'll hear a fighter say I was 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's only a few guys like Phil Davis. I just listened to an interview with him the other day, and he's been in MMA. He made his professional debut, I think, in 2008, or UFC debut in 2008, and he said he's not had one surgery. But that's the only other fighter I've ever heard say not have a surgery. Kind
Yeah,
of
of course. I mean, when you're doing this every single day, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, when it comes to fighting, obviously it's the closest you can get to a fight is a spar. But the intensity, even if you have a hard spar, it's still not a fight. You know what I mean? You've got shin guards on. It's not bare bone to.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Body.
it's all right. It's all right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's the first. I'm sure it's not going to be the
So,
last. as
how long
well.
again
So,
did you have to wait before you could start training again?
I'm still not training properly now.
Are you still not training at all?
No. So they told me I got it done.
Hi, no, it's all right. It's all
Hello,
right.
Poppy. Hello. So I got it done it's February the 10th. They told me the earliest I can come back is May, I think the middle of May. But that's absolute earliest. So I don't know. I'm just kind of playing along how, see how it goes. If I feel okay in May, I'm not going to come straight back and start rushing everything. Obviously, I can see the outside. I can't see what's on the inside.
Right, of course.
So I'm just trying to take it slow.
Did they give you like a rough? Did they give you like a rough recovery time?
They said 2 to 3 months roughly.
so
They said
we're on
obviously,
track then.
but at the same time, they don't quite understand what we do. You say I do MMA, I say I do martial arts.
Right.
They don't
They don't
quite
really
get
get
how
it.
brutal it can be.
You kind of need a doctor that's sort of had MMA or fighters sort of to know what you're going through, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I came out of the hospital, and I came in here to do kids class the exact same day as the surgery.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was quite sore, but I didn't have to use crutches or anything. They let me walk out on my own 2 feet. which is great. I mean, it was an absolute balloon.
Yeah.
And it was quite sore and swollen, but swelling's gone down a lot. Still a tiny bit swollen. Pain-wise, it's not actually where it got cut open. I'm feeling it more on the actual bone itself. I've gone
Like on your knee kind of thing?
Yeah, I've gone for a couple of 5K runs this week. And first one was great. I had another one yesterday and today, and I'm starting to feel it.
I saw in your story that you were running, so I thought, oh yeah, you look like you're back to normal kind of thing. And obviously, I just saw you on the mats now, so I thought, oh, you must be nearly ready to sort of be.
I'm a lot better than
training.
what I was a month ago, so I'm
Yeah.
just kind of starting. I'm just trying to get used to moving around on it. In terms of
Yeah.
actual contacts, I'm trying to stay away for at least another month. I'd
Probably,
say.
and it's probably best not to rush because, I mean, let's just say if you really push yourself, you probably could train as much as how you want to,
for sure.
but it's just not going to be worth it because you might just fall apart.
That's
in
it.
a month or
As I
so's
said,
time.
I can see the outside. I can't see what's on the inside. I
Yeah,
can only feel.
100%.
And the bone itself, like on the side of the kneecap and all around here, I can't feel that at all.
Right.
It's just completely numb. And it
Yeah.
has been now for like, just over 2 months. So
Damn.
I don't think that numbness is going to go away. I think I'm going to have to probably live with that. But
Grin and bear it, yeah.
yeah, but once it is back to 100%, obviously I'm not going to have this in the back of my mind because subconsciously I'm always worrying about it, you know, like making sure
Yeah.
it's not getting hit, making sure I'm protecting it, you know, if I'm sparring, don't kick me here, please. Well, I don't have to worry about that as
Yeah,
much anymore.
100%.
So I'm going to feel a little bit more free, which is great.
Do you know, one thing I forgot to ask you last time, and I was like kicking myself because as soon as I was on my way home, I was like, why? How could I forget to ask? Do you have a regular job as well as like an MMA fighter and coach?
Yeah, so I do, this isn't so much of a stable income, this is more just for a little bit of extra money on the side, but I
Yeah.
do quite a few PTs with kids, most of them from the kids class, because obviously I help out Wes and with the kids classes. I get to know quite a few of the kids, especially the ones that have been in. I mean, I've been doing it now, I think, for about 3 years. So
Yeah.
some of them have been there since the start. So obviously I've grown to build a small bond with them. They've gotten to
Right.
know me better. So their parents usually come up to me and ask if I do one-to-one. So it's a good little way of earning a
That's good,
small
yeah.
income, but it's not a stable income.
So
in terms of a stable income, I don't know if I probably told you last time, I literally live in
Cheam?
fucking nowhere.
Where do you go? Is it
Cobham,
Cobham?
on
Yeah,
the edge of Cobham,
yeah.
going into Byfleet on a farm. So I'm literally, my nearest shop is about 25-minute walk away.
Damn, yeah.
And then you got 25 minutes back as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I literally live in the middle of nowhere. The only place that's actually local to me, I've got a golf club on the back of my farm. I sound like a rich fuck. I'm really not though. You walk through the golf club, there's a care home. I literally just do laundry in there. Just like 2 days a week usually I'm contracted
Oh, okay,
to.
yeah. 'Cause I was thinking, because obviously I see on your story that you do all the, you know, the one-to-ones and training. So I just thought, oh, I wonder if that's your regular job as well, or if you have one or a part-time job.
Yeah, no, I usually do that. That's obviously a stable income. I can guarantee work. PTs are more kind of, you know, they'll cancel this week, then I'll have 4 the next week.
And they're
then
fun as well because it's
100%.
involved.
I mean, I get
it's
to-
involved with what you're doing.
I don't feel like I'm working. That's the thing. I enjoy it. So if I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
what I'm doing and earn money from it,
It's like a bonus.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it's
So-
an extra bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if all goes like swimmingly, like hoping you're recovered in a few months, would you like to have at least one more fight or two? This year?
I was aiming for 2 this year.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Obviously, I don't want to come back and then jump straight into a camp. I wanted to come back, build myself back up slowly. When I do come back, hopefully towards the end of next month, maybe June. I'll see how I feel. As I said, I'm just going to kind of play as it goes along.
Right.
When I do come back to proper full training again, I'm going to start off slow, just see how it feels. If everything's going great, then I can
Yeah.
pick the pace up a little bit, start training, pick my cardio back up and everything, which is why I'm going for the runs now as well.
Yeah.
And then when I feel great, I was going to go into a camp and hopefully have 2 before the year
Do you-
closes out.
Do you like doing like cardio, or do you find like you get? Because I hear some fighters say, okay, like Sean Strickland for example, he hates going running and sprints and stuff like that. He likes to do his cardio from sparring basically every day.
Sure.
So, and he's got like a great gas tank. How do you like to do it? Do you kind of like to do a bit of everything, or do you hate running, or do you?
I don't mind running. I do enjoy running. I prefer running with people, with mates. Obviously, makes it a lot
Really?
more fun.
Okay.
But I also think as well, like, I think it's a different type of cardio.
Yeah.
Because you could take Mo Farah, for example. He's one of the fittest guys in the world, and he'd probably gas out in the first round. It's
Well,
a
yeah,
different,
if you took him that short single leg on him and he had to get to his knees, he'd be probably out of breath.
it's a different type of cardio.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, there's a difference between running cardio and fighting cardio. So in terms of building cardio for fighting, I just think sparring is the best. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to go for runs and to build up muscle endurance and all this type of stuff as well. But just a mix of things. But
Yeah.
I've never really hated the cardio. I like the cardio. I like doing all this. Yeah. I think sparring, just make it as realistic as possible, you know?
Yeah, because you want it's almost like a fight simulator where you want it to be, okay, I'm gonna be in this position in a fight. So, I mean, I can't really speak, but you know, like sometimes you'll hear on commentary where they'll say, this guy is tired from grappling because he's not usually a grappler, and he's sort of gassing himself out. So obviously you're trying to do as much as you can that you would do in a fight to sort of not be as tired. Is that how you kind of do it? Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, you got to take into account as well, when I'm running, there's no adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
You know, the adrenaline dump has a massive, massive part to do with the cardio. The last one, I gassed out in the first round. And I don't know whether it's because I had a worse weight cut, because I did, the weight cut was a little bit more difficult for me last time. I spent, I think, a good 6.5 hours in and out sauna.
Wow.
Whereas the first time, I was done in under 45 minutes.
Right.
So I don't know whether it had something to do with that.
And the crowd as well, people watching, people
yeah.
cheering, all your like friends and family there. It must add like, even if it, in a good way, like pressure. You're like, oh, I really want to perform, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all mental as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think for me anyway, when I'm walking towards the cage and everything, I can hear the crowd and everything. It's more when I step into the cage, once the first minute goes by and I'm kind of getting used to the surround and everything, all of that disappears for me. I don't really feel pressure from the crowd. That's more of a before the fight type of thing. Once I step in, I feel like I'm kind of
tunnel vision.
Bubbled. I'm bubbled in my own zone, if that makes sense. So everything from the outside, I can hear it, but I can't. It's kind of like if me and you are having a conversation now, I can hear what they're doing on the other map, but I'm not zoned into that. For me, that's how it kind of...
Another thing then, so when you're locked into a fight, can you actually hear what your coaches are saying? Like you can hear them, but are you actually, is it registering?
Yeah.
It is?
For me, it is, yeah. I hear them loud and clear. Crowd, not really. Again, same thing. I can hear, but my brain's not registering. I can hear people calling my name, but it's not. I kind of just try to focus on, obviously, my opponent, what my coaches are saying, and that's literally it.
Right.
Obviously, them being so much closer to the cage as well definitely helps.
Definitely.
But yeah, for me, I think you need a mix of the adrenaline and nerves. I don't want to be too calm. I felt like the first one I had more. I think the way I dealt with it backstage, for me, it's a lot worse nerves-wise backstage than it actually is out there. You know, it's just when you're backstage, you get your hands wrapped and you can hear the crowd from the inside and everything, and it's like, oh shit, I'm on next, and they call your name.
Yeah.
That's when everything starts going.
The anticipation is just.
It's kind of like, you know, you jump out playing when you're actually falling.
Yeah.
You don't have time to worry. You don't have time to think. You know, that's kind of what it felt like for me. It's, you have time to think. Then, once you've made the walk, I'm here now. I don't have time to worry.
There's no turning back. I just need to get on with it.
I tried too hard to keep myself too cool, to the point where I lost that drive, that oomph. I felt too kind of, when I was walking out, the first time I had goosebumps, like I was really up for it, I was in the moment. The second time when I walked out last time, I was like, I felt like I was just walking out my front room. I didn't have that buzz, I didn't have that, I don't know. There was a part of me that just wanted to kind of get in and get out. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first one. I think I had a lot of, not to make excuses obviously, but I just didn't have that mental going in there as I did compared to the first one. I had a few
so
things.
it's really a balance of, you want to be calm enough that you know what's going on and listen to your coaches, but you don't want to be too calm where you're like casual.
Yeah, you want that little, that
want
drive,
that
that oomph, you want the nerves as well, because they help you, you know.
Yeah, because nerves kind of sort of show that you care for one, and two, that you're focused. It is interesting, but I think that probably just comes with experience as well. And I don't know if there's anything in this, and you could tell me. I don't know if you've cornered your teammates before.
No.
You haven't, but I'm guessing maybe if you cornered some teammates, you might just be in and around the fight, and you sort of get that experience where you're like, you've got to stay calm for them. So when it comes to your fight, you're like, okay, I'm used to this setting.
I think it's completely different then, because mentally, I guess subconsciously as well, subconsciously you know you're not in there.
Yeah.
So I think your subconscious mind obviously is so powerful. Your body knows, obviously you go into that fight or flight mode when you're in a fight.
Yeah.
Subconsciously you know where you are, you know your body knows what's going on, it's sending signals, everything. When I'm outside the cage and I'm cornering someone else, it's different. I know I'm not in danger, my mind knows I'm not in danger. I don't think it's going to send the same signals to my body, it's not going to, you know what I mean, let off that same stress. Kind of. So I think naturally I'm always going to be calmer.
Yeah, because I've heard sometimes fighters say they get more nervous for their
I was about to say this, like, obviously I'm quite close with Wes. When I've watched Wes before.
Wes who? Sorry, remind me of?
Wesley Meyer.
Meyer.
This is actually his top. He's fighting next Saturday, 1 week today in Glasgow.
What promotion?
Cage Wars.
Cage Wars, okay,
yeah,
cool.
he's fine. You know Reese McEwen?
No, I don't think I do.
Um,
I know Reece McKee. That's why I thought, oh yeah, but yeah, he's in the
Reece
UFC.
McKeown, yeah. Yeah, this time next week. So I'm
Okay.
flying out to Glasgow on Friday, early morning, and I'm go watch him fight. But yeah, watching him fight last time, I same like you just said, I get nervous watching him, obviously because you care for someone so much.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced. Obviously, my parents were at my fight both times, and they keep going on about it afterwards to me like, oh, it's so horrible to watch, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it.
Are they
'cause I
fight
don't-
fans though?
My dad, yeah, my dad's, he's not kind of like proper into it. He doesn't know the ins and outs as much
Right.
as, most people do, but he'll watch the occasional fight and stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
he is a fan of it. Yeah, my mum,
Oh, nice.
they look delicious. Yeah, my mum, I don't think my mum's really watched.
Yeah.
They're supportive, of
Like,
course. They're not
mum,
against it. But
I know my mum couldn't watch me fight. I mean, she hates fighting anyway because she just thinks it's brutal.
Mm.
But like, my dad's a fight fan, so I know
Sure.
I mean, I can't speak for him because I don't have children or whatever. But I can imagine it must be hard. But if you get it, you get it, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, watching your kid fight, obviously, it's your own flesh and blood, but you're a parent, you're gonna feel that sort of way, obviously.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But I understand it. I get it, of course. But I mean, and it is brutal. But life's brutal.
Yeah.
Life's
Right.
brutal. So
Yeah. The gym is doing like really well at the moment, which is kind of interesting because I kind of think UK MMA, there are some people doing well, but the highs of like 2022, 2023 is not where it was.
Sure.
We've got one or two guys doing really well. Because even in the PFL, like we had Brendan Loughnane who won the $1 million dollars in 2022. Leon becomes champ 2023. Aspinall becomes interim champ 2023. But now it kind of feels like we've got one or few guys, but the last few events that we've had in the UK have been very not great. But then there are certain gyms and teams that are doing well, but then it's been kind of disappointing. So it must be kind of good for the gym at GB top team that everyone's doing
And
quite
you got,
well.
I mean, on the last London one, I don't know if you saw Lonnie's fight.
I did.
Lonnie's fight was amazing. Nathaniel's fight,
Yeah, he looks great.
yeah, we did amazing.
Wish he got a finish though. He even said himself, like he was saying, he said, because I bet I was one of the few people that picked him to win. He was actually the underdog in that fight, which is I kind of got it, but I didn't because Cherrier is a good fighter. But I just thought Nathaniel Woods had so much experience in the UFC, and he's a good fighter. But he fought great. But I felt bad for him. I really wanted him to get a finish.
Of
I
course,
feel like he
mean,
goes under the radar sometimes.
You're always going to want to finish.
Yeah, and
But
he said it
regardless,
himself.
Yeah, I think it was an amazing performance. Amazing
Oh, yeah,
performance.
definitely.
He looked super clean. I think it was his best performance to date yet.
Yeah, it was
personally.
definitely up there.
Especially, I think.
I want to see him
toughest
get a big
opponent,
fight
yeah,
now,
as
though.
well.
I want to see him get a big
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, he's been calling for a top 15 for a while, and I think he more than deserves it now.
100%.
So,
He said, well, he actually said in his interview, I listened to his interview a few weeks ago, he was saying he wanted the loser of either so Lerone Murphy and Josh Emmett fought last week. He said he wants the loser of that fight, or he wants the loser of, say, Bryce Mitchell, or the winner of Bryce Mitchell, João Silva tonight,
nice.
which I think is good, which he
Yeah.
deserves as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I don't know if you've seen, but his new nickname as well. The Last Kingsman.
The Last Kingsman, yeah.
I've never watched the movie. My mate gave me.
Oh,
a
I've
quick,
seen The
like-
Kingsman, yeah, it's a good film.
I'm not
Yeah.
a huge movie guy. I never really have been. But my mate gave me a quick rundown of it, and yeah, it does suit me.
That
pretty
is,
well. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
It's really cool.
And it's
It's
set in
actually
London,
really
and it's set in London, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess he's a bit too experienced now to be called the prospect.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's not a prospect anymore, really.
No, I mean he's been in the UFC forever. He's been in the UFC forever.
The veteran.
But yeah, Lonnie looked great. But you must train with him all the time.
In the mornings, yeah. I mean, he's one of the smaller guys, so whenever I get to do a round with him, I mean, he whoops my ass, obviously, when I have done rounds with him. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have guys like that to train with, on the daily. Especially now he's in the UFC. Obviously, he's grown. His stock's grown like quite a bit in such a short period of time. He's defeated, I think. What is he now? Is he 9-0 now? I think.
I think he is.
9-0, something like that. And he's defeated, I think, all of his fights apart from one, I believe. They've all been undefeated guys he's beaten.
Oh wow!
Which is crazy impressive.
Because I remember you saying last time to me, I asked you, who should we look out for at the gym? You're like, oh, Lonnie Carroll, he's the best one. And I can't remember where I was hearing it, but somebody said, they were talking about him here. They were like, it might have been Pete Carroll, but he was saying, this guy's so good. Like, I could see him fighting for the belt, and like,
If I could take someone's
this year, in a couple of years, maybe.
ability and put it on myself, it'd probably be Lonnie.
Oh, really?
He's so,
Yeah.
He's like a ninja. I mean, he says ninja shit only, right? He's like a little ninja. He's so quick, he's so in and out. Obviously, I mean, he's kind of got the full package, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, if I could have one guy,
Especially at flyweight.
Yeah, no,
Do you think? Do you ever go to other gyms to sort of get some different looks and train and
I've never
stuff?
been since I started the top team. I've never actually been to another gym, not once. I
Is it
did
kind of
used to
frowned upon
train.
to do that or not?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
There's a gym around the corner from here, like 15-minute walk, called Stronger MMA.
Okay.
That's where I started off. I started there for not too long, it's 3-ish months.
Yeah.
Before this place opened up, and it's a nice small gym. There's a couple guys that train in here that used to train or still do train there. They've got some decent guys over there. But yeah, I've never really been to another gym. Not because I don't want to. I've just kind of, I don't know. I guess I got my weekly routine here,
Right.
classes. I guess it's good to go somewhere else just to get fresh faces, you know. But I mean, I've got the best in the country, best in Europe. On this mat to train with, to help progress and stuff. So
yeah, and there's so many other. Do they ever do what they called interclubs?
yeah, we actually had
with
one here.
Other top teams? Because I know there's GB Manchester top team.
Yeah, you got Manchester top team as well. We actually had an interclub here. I think it was last Sunday.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Really busy. So that was pretty cool. I think
was
it
it?
was MMA and Muay Thai, I believe it was.
Right.
Really good. It was really good, really good. Some really nice fights. But yeah, great success. But I think the gym, I mean, we've only been open, what, 3.5 years, I think.
Really?
I think this place opened. I mean, Top Team has been
That's been
a
around
gym
forever.
beforehand,
Yeah,
but they were more of like a private sort.
Yeah, I didn't know this gym would only.
In terms of being open to the public and everything, I think it was January 2022.
Wow, that's not long. That's not long at all.
No, and I mean the caliber and the talent that we've got in the gym as well. You know, guys that have obviously come up since the gym's open, like 2D. It was Chanel as well. It's on Dana White's Contender Series now as well.
Oh, okay.
So then she'll be another one in the UFC as well. So the gym's making a great name for itself in such a short period of time. So when you look down the line in 5-10 years time, I mean, I think we're already one of the best in Europe. But
Really?
yeah, I think give it another 5 years, I think there'll be no question.
What other gyms do you rate highly, like in the UK or Europe?
I mean, there's obviously Next Gen. Next Gen have got some great fighters coming out of there.
Next Gen.
Obviously, Paddy's from there. Luke
Paddy,
Riley.
yeah, Paddy's gym, yeah.
Renegades, obviously, because of Leon is
Fabian.
you know. But again, these gyms, they have these guys, these top guys, right? Like these top 1 or 2 guys coming out of that gym that help make a name for the gym. Whereas we kind of have, there's so many names here. It's not just 1 or 2 guys. There's so many.
And it's more spread out kind of thing. Yeah,
There's a lot of top level talent here. And it's only going to keep getting better and better. Obviously, there's a lot of amateurs as well that'll be turning pro. So we've got a great team, great coaches.
And how many coaches are there? Like,
I mean, you've got Brad,
obviously Brad's the main man. And
Barry, Mike, Gary, which is Nathaniel's dad, comes in the mornings to help out. And then you've got obviously some of the fighters help coach classes here as well. Nick, there's Wes, there's a lot of guys, which is great because you've got lots of different people to go to for different things. You know, you can get like a different look. You know, one person might specialize more in one certain area, and you could show me something. This guy could show me a similar thing, but in another way. So it's good to get kind of a different eye for you know what I mean?
yeah, there's more than one right way to do something.
Yeah, it's good to get a different view from different people who've already been there and done it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like in MMA, especially in this era, today's fighters, you're getting like less fighters are doing less fighters are specialists now. There's more guys who have been watching UFC forever, so they do MMA. So do you think that's like a pro or a con kind of thing?
No, I would say it's a good thing. I do think there's a massive difference between now and back then is social media. I think social media has ruined my generation as a generation, but in terms of like a career, I feel like we kind of have an advantage there. Obviously, we can help boost ourselves and promote ourselves, whereas 20 years ago, obviously it wasn't such a thing, so they didn't get the opportunity to. The more followers you have, the better sponsorship deals you can get, the more eyes you're going to have on you, the better connections you can make. So but in terms of like the guys that have been
recording. Keep going.
In terms of guys that have been watching like the UFC for a long time and everything, I mean, Brad, for example, obviously he's been around since WEC, so before the UFC and everything. So
which is crazy.
Yeah,
especially for a UK person, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think he was saying, I was watching an interview the other day from him where he said it was, they only had, I think, it was lightweight was the smallest weight class that they had to begin with, or something like that.
I think in the WEC, I think the smallest weight class at that time was actually, it was 140. Actually, no, that's not true because Dominic Cruz was in there, so they had 35. Then they had 45. Yeah, they definitely didn't have flyweights. I know they didn't.
No, because I know he fought Demetrius Johnson a bantamweight.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I think 35 was the smallest one in
Yeah.
WEC.
It might not have been WEC. It might have been a different.
No, I think
different-
I
but
think he's
don't know,
right
I
because
heard him say somewhere lightweight was the smallest category
yeah,
at some point.
because
But,
at that point, that same time period, the UFC didn't have a lightweight division for 5 years. I think
oh really?
there was
I never
no.
knew
'Cause-
that.
Yeah, Jens Pulver won. You had like Jens Pulver and BJ Penn, who was the 2 lightweight champions, but then they left, and then there was no division for like 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. This goes to show you how much things have changed.
No, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously now, I mean, they didn't even have the weight classes to begin with,
No.
which is crazy.
Yeah, like UFC 1, it was literally just an open. It didn't have any rules. It was just like guys sort of doing nothing. Well, not nothing. It was like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can wrestle you or jiu-jitsu or strike with you kind of thing.
Sure,
It just
yeah.
goes to show you how crazy it's all
I mean, yeah,
changed.
no, it's completely different now, and it's gonna. I guess it's gonna continue to change as well. And I think we spoke about this last time as well. I find it very interesting to see how kind of the styles change over time.
Okay.
Obviously, you've got the era now of the whole Dagestani thing.
Yeah.
Something will come along to counter that at some
You think
point.
so?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just the way of nature. I think I think it's in every sport as well. I think the sport's going to keep evolving. Someone one day will find a way to counter it, how to
Okay.
deal with it, and then so on and so forth. The next thing will come around, and then it might not be for a long time.
I
But
think there won't necessarily be a certain style, but what I think will happen is you look at a guy like say Islam or Habib or whatever, that sort of Dagestani style. I just think it will be like people will look at someone else do well and they'll figure out, oh, well, maybe if I done that, I can beat that as well. But I still feel like they'll need a similar style to beat that because, I mean, they're just steamrolling everybody. Do you know what I mean? And these are like some of the best fights. Like Islam made Charles Oliveira look so ordinary, and I still think I think Islam's the best fighter in the world. But they're going through people. They're going through world-class fighters and making them look ordinary.
yeah, I mean, obviously, as I said, right now the level is everyone's like, and then they're just one step
yeah.
ahead. But Marab and Umar.
But then I would say his style is quite similar to.
It is.
He's from the
Yeah.
Caucasus Mountains. Their styles are all very similar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Marab is probably the closest fighter to Habib in terms of pressure, just being relentless pressure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't mind it. I
think the cardio as well. It's the cardio as well. When you got such a high-level wrestler who keeps taking you down,
yeah.
dragging their weight on you, you have to carry their body weight. It tires you out. You know what I mean? And then the more tired you get, the easier it's going to be for them to do what they want to do to you. And it's just like a
Yeah.
vicious circle thing where you need like insane cardio. And again, Marab's a perfect example. He has insane cardio.
And he grew up in that environment where they're from the mountains.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like So I was confident that Marab would beat. Like I bet on him to win, to beat Umar, and I was confident he was going to win. Whereas I feel like if, say, another world-class fighter in that division, Piotr Jan, let's just say, I think he could beat Umar, but he would have to be at his very best, and Umar would have to maybe not be at his best, or
Right.
maybe take a round or two where he's not that great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. Actually, speaking of these guys, O'Malley and Marab are fighting again now.
What do you think about that?
I think Marab's going to beat him again.
Yeah, I think he's going to beat him again. Yeah.
I just think it's his cardio.
Do you think it's just that? I think he's getting better. though.
I mean, of course, he's evolving everywhere. But I think the main for me, I just think it's the cardio because if he did what he did and then gassed, then it's a different story. But it's the
Yeah.
fact that he can set that pace from the beginning and he'll keep that pace
Yeah.
all the way to the end.
Yeah, that is true. I think, when you look at those guys who got, his cardio is ridiculous. But to be fair, like, hindsight is 2020, because a lot of people were saying Sean O'Malley would beat Marab. I think he was actually the slight betting favourite when the odds came out, like when the fight came out. So I don't know, but I think Marab will win again. But then he's probably going to fight Umar again in the rematch, or Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
And he
assume so.
tore through Jan, so it's just like, this style is so interesting. But one thing I did hear someone say a few months ago, I feel like that Dagestani Caucasus style is more effective like in lower weight classes. Do you know what I mean? As
Yeah.
you go up, like if Hamzat fights say Dricus, I wouldn't be as confident as say at lower weight classes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear
What do you
that.
reckon?
The speed that they operate at, though, at lower weight classes as well.
Yeah. It's harder to like before when Magomed Ankalaev fought Pereira, everyone was saying, he's just going to take him down, but that didn't happen. That's not the kind of fighter he is. At that weight, at those weights, it's harder to just be taking someone down constantly for 25 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. You also not only that, but I don't see as many of them. I don't really see as many of those Dagestani guys at higher weight classes either. You know, lower weight classes, when I say lower weight classes, obviously
Like
we'll
55
talk
and
like,
below,
Yeah,
yeah.
obviously Habib, Islam, Marab, blah, blah, all these guys. You
Yeah.
don't see too many in a higher weight
Yeah,
class. I
I
don't know.
like 170 and I don't think there's like one elite guy at 170 like that. At 185 you've got like Hamza, and then you've got like 205 you've got Magomed and Kalayev, but at heavyweight there's like Shamil Gaziev, but there's a handful kind of thing. But at like the lower weight classes they're just spawning like all of
Yeah.
these guys in like a lab or something.
I mean, this is literally this is the thing though. There's a difference between, I think, high level wrestling and then the Dagestani wrestling. There is a difference because you got guys like Usman, for example, Colby. You know, these guys are all great wrestlers,
Yeah.
but they're not Dagestani. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just when you're wrestling from like 4 years old and you're surrounded by that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You don't really have a choice. You're forced to grow up in that
Yeah.
vicinity with that. You know, it kind of helps shape and mold you.
Do you,
Easier from a
do you
young
like
age,
wrestling
so-
as in doing it?
Yeah, no, I enjoy wrestling. I prefer. I don't know. I would say I was gonna say I find grappling more fun, but
You find striking more fun?
I don't know. I think I might find striking more fun, but I find I'm better at grappling. So naturally, I
Okay.
think you're always gonna, whatever you're better at, you're always gonna find it more fun for me anyway.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, so do you prefer like, how can I put it? Do you sort of prefer to use grappling as in, say when you're in a fight, whether it's like shooting takedowns and getting someone up against a cage, or do you prefer the kind of I'm gonna go for a submission kind of thing, like jiu-jitsu? Like, what do you prefer?
This is okay. So this is one of the mistakes I made in the last fight. I took him down, had his back right, and
Yeah.
I should have finished the choke. I had his back, had both my hooks in, had body triangle. I was in a position where if I go for the submission, I'm gonna have to obviously use more energy. If I don't get it, I was afraid to gas.
And
but then if
then-
I don't go for it, I'm not gonna get it anyway. So it's kind of that balance.
You have to sort of
just
take a
finding the right
zig
moment.
or zag,
of, yeah. I should have just gone for it.
Mm.
Obviously, as I was saying, I was kind of, I don't know, too scared, too gassed, too
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So I kind of wanted to hold back a tiny bit. But
What-
yeah, I don't.
What belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
Blue belt.
Blue belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, blue belt's the next one after white, right?
Yeah. So
How-
white, blue, purple, brown, black.
How long did it take you to get to blue belt?
I think it was 2 years,
Right.
roughly 2 years. I think it was.
Do you prefer gi or no gi? Because I hate
No gi. I don't like gi at all. So
Ah.
with the kids classes, the jiu-jitsu classes we do on a Monday and a Thursday, we teach them in the gi. Obviously just for grading reasons and everything.
Right.
So I'm forced to wear the gi. And so we used to have gi classes here actually at the gym a while ago. It's only no gi now. I've always preferred the no gi. I just think it's also more realistic as well. I find it more fun. I just prefer the scrambles. I prefer the scrambles than the no gi.
So is it better to learn? Yeah, but if you was like a beginner, is it better to learn in no gi or gi?
Brad, what would you say?
Depends what you want to do it for. If you want to compete in MMA, it's best to do no gi because it's more realistic. But
Right.
gi is, depends what age you are as well. If you do gi as a kid, it learns a lot of good.
Do you think it's easier to take what you've learned in gi and take it into no gi and just get rid of the grips than it is to learn no gi and then bring it to the
Depends what
gi?
your end goal is. If your end goal is to do MMA, it's probably better off starting out with
A gi or not? No gi.
Also, the mentality of gi is very much on bottom.
Right.
And you used to be on bottom too long, where in MMA you don't want to be down there.
And in jiu-jitsu tournaments, though, they don't usually wear gis, do they? Like in ACC, like
It depends if it's here.
no, most of them like are like say like the guys like Craig Jones and Gordon Ryan. They're not.
They'll now want to do gi, no gi, which for me is more fun. There's, in gi, in IBJJF rules, there's way more rules. You can't do this, you can't leg.
I think gi's just slower pace as well.
It's way more exciting. To be good at gi, you just have to have a good brain and a strong grip. You don't have to be athletic.
Right.
Doesn't really matter. In no gi, you have to be athletic. If you're athletic, you get out so many different people.
Right.
Open, what are you doing?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so like in no gi, I could be like, think about, let me try and compare something. Do you know Joanna Lerman, the rugby player?
No, I don't.
Well, okay, James Askell,
Yeah,
right?
I know him. Yeah,
Big rugby player. He's going to be good at grappling just because
he's big.
big,
Yeah.
strong, athletic. You know, he could power out stuff. Where in a gi, it does not matter. If you're in a gi, his own size will work against him. So for me, in no gi, athleticism is way more.
Yeah. So are you sort of saying as well, like, say if you're wearing a gi like you could literally just, because say if you were in a bar and you were gonna fight someone, you could just grab if you knew what you were doing, you could just grab like their jacket or whatever, and then you could just trip them up.
But then you say in that aspect, you start on your feet, right? So you might as well do judo's gonna have you.
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
It's just a situational thing, I guess. It just depends on
Me personally, I think learning how to punch is probably more important sometimes as well. You have to punch someone. All of it's important. Circumstance as well, right? What if you fight someone who's trained as well?
No, yeah, of course. I just meant hypothetically. But to be fair, like we were just saying earlier, like in MMA, like you get less, because say people who are training now, who are like young guys or whatever, they've been watching MMA, UFC forever, but there's not really specialists anymore. You'll get one or two maybe like college wrestlers.
It's a sport in its own right. Where before it was, okay, right, let's see this judo guy versus a wrestler. Okay, let me see this boxer versus kickboxer.
Yeah.
Let me see this wrestler versus a sambo guy. Now it's everyone's cross trains, everyone gets better at different sports.
Yeah.
A boxer will learn how to grapple, a grappler will learn how to box.
So everyone's more well-rounded.
People are more well-rounded, yeah.
Now it's sport.
It's MMA, yeah.
People want to do it because it's also now it's the legitimate career path for people. Where
Yeah. Back in the day, it wasn't like when it was on Spike TV. People weren't thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna.
This is gonna be, if you were a good athlete as a child back in the day, you go do football, you go do basketball, you go do some other sport. Right now, if you want to, you can earn a good living in MMA. So it's its own sport. You know? So yeah, again, depends what you do it for. My son does judo because for me, for good discipline, good stuff like that, he likes it. He's not wants to get punched in the face. Some kids do, he doesn't. So like.
Yeah, and you can learn. I think you can learn that later. Like we were talking about that last time.
I was 26, so
Sorry.
I didn't start fighting until I was 26.
Yeah, and like we were talking about that last time. Like, if you was gonna actually make someone like an MMA fighter from the beginning, you'd really want them. How do you even want to get him to like?
Sometimes it's nice to have a little base of something. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not imperative. Sometimes me as a coach, I'd much rather someone with a clean slate than someone who have okay, right, you can't do this in this sport. You're changing because there's things that translate very well, but same in jiu-jitsu. There's things that you wouldn't do in MMA. The same in wrestling. There's things you wouldn't do in wrestling.
Yeah.
You would do in MMA. And striking-wise, there's things you do in boxing.
That
You stand sideways in boxing. You don't do that in MMA.
Yeah, because you could get kicked in the head. Yeah. I mean.
It's different. You want to do MMA? Do MMA.
Do you think if you was to start at 26 nowadays, do you reckon it would be completely different compared to back then or not? Fair enough.
But I feel like.
Also, age is a number. Like I had a very good work ethic, and good strong mind, and awareness. Like so, I knew just how I am. I'm too competitive to lose. I wanted to succeed.
Yeah. It's an interesting sort of like.
It's a lot harder. The gene pool is a lot more people, stuff like that, but.
With gi, you've got to have a good mind and a good grip.
Yeah.
That was the complete opposite.
Oh, it's funny. Have you ever done any like BJJ tournaments?
Yes, I've done a few.
You've done a few.
Yeah.
do
I don't know
more?
if you know. Yeah, no, for sure, I'll do more. It's like I guess it's a cool little side quest. MMA is my main thing. I'm more focused on MMA fights.
Yeah.
But for sure, in between fights or whatever, yeah, it's a good way to. It's a nice little side quest, I guess. It's nice, you know.
Because you know, like sometimes you see like MMA fighters, they'll have, you know, they got like a few kickboxing matches or boxing matches. Would you ever be interested in doing something like that?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I've always been more MMA focused. I just prefer mixing it all up. Obviously, for experience and everything, it's 100% good to go and have a match in boxing or kickboxing, just for experience as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's completely different. If I go into a boxing fight, like Brad was just saying, you're always going to be heavy on the front foot.
Yeah.
If I bring that into MMA, my leg's going to get kicked out, my calf's going to get kicked out. So,
Yeah.
But it's nice to.
Yeah, so we'll be wrapping up soon anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Because do you guys ever get like specialists come in where you might have, say someone's training for a fight, they might bring in like a professional boxer to work on their striking or something like
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you have obviously even here, like you got guys like Barry, for example.
Okay.
Barry's a really great boxing coach, but he's also learning to mix in kicks now. I see when he's holding pads and stuff as well. You've got different styles, as I was saying, different styles of coaches who I guess will show different things, teach different ways. They'll hold pads completely differently to others. You know, Rad's held pads for me before, Waz has held pads for me loads. and both times they both hold to me completely different. So it's nice to get kind of like a different look,
style,
a different,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, we'll wrap this up in a sec. So, two more things. Firstly, who do you think is going to win tonight, Volkanovski or Lopez?
I think Lopez.
Lopez.
I
You
want,
think Lopez is
I
gonna
want
win?
Volkanovski to win. I think Lopez. This might age terribly.
No, I mean, listen,
but
it's
my
a 50-50 fight.
my only reason is because, and I don't want to sound like a casual or anything, but I mean, the amount of fighters in lower weight classes who win belts in their late 30s after being knocked out is very, very low.
I actually think it's 0.
It might be.
I think it is.
And
There's only
again,
2 fighters that have done it.
like Brad was saying, you're as young as you feel, but at the same time, well, thank you very much, Poppy. Thank you.
Oh, I'm alright, thank you. I don't like cake. No, I'm alright, thank you. Oh, it's alright.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously you've got guys in the higher weight classes like Glover Teixeira, for example.
Yes.
They prime slightly later, or their longevity is slightly longer. Smaller weight classes, guys tend to prime a bit earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, how old's Volk now?
He's
Like
35,
30,
I think.
35.
And you're right. I watched this video, maybe like last year, and there's like a graph of guys under 170. If you look, once they hit 34, they drop massively.
Yeah,
I think.
and it's the same. I mean, like Kamaru. Look at Kamaru Usman, for example, when Leon knocked him out. I mean, he done great against Hamzat.
Yeah.
You know,
On
in
like
the
a
later
10
rounds.
days notice, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. Once you hit your mid 30s, if you get knocked out,
Yeah.
they never seem to come back the same.
Yeah, it's sad. It's kind of sad, really, because.
So for that reason only, I'm going with Lopez. But I could be completely wrong. I hope Volk wins.
No,
so
to be fair, I
we'll see.
agree with you. I'm saying Volk, but I'm not confident. Like my heart says Volkanovski, but my head kind of says Lopez.
Yeah, I
But
mean, on
he's
paper,
so
I
good.
guess he
He's so
was.
good, and I think he can do it.
He's the younger guy, you know. He's on a win streak. He's up and coming.
He's got power as well, and he can knock people out.
Yeah, I was actually. Do you see his? He didn't. I don't think he actually knocked him down. But when he fought Ortega, when Lopez fought Ortega,
Yeah.
I think it wasn't it an uppercut? I think,
No,
and
so
he was
he's
going to drop him, and then he hit the left hook, and the left hook stood Ortega back
Yeah,
up.
so he basically knocked him out with the right hand, but then he hit him again with the left, and it
Yeah,
woke
just
him
brought
up.
him back up. I know, it's quite funny actually.
Okay, and then last thing is, so hopefully the injury goes well, and you want to get 2 more fights in.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Thank
We'll
you
do it
very
again.
much for having me. Yes,
Thank
give
you,
me a
cheers.
shout anytime.
Yeah, it's good. It's good filming here as well.
Oh,
like, in the
100%.
background.
Yeah, the
sweet.
famous logo.
All right, sweet. Cool. Cheers.
Amazing. Thank you, bro.
No worries.